India is the only place where our gods must dance. If he cannot dance, he cannot be a god. Shiva is Nataraja, he is the king of dancers and everybody else is a dancer. Why this is because the phenomena of creation. The closest analogy you can give to that is it's like a dance. Today modern physicists are using those words, that things seem to be in a dance. Dance means there seems to be no logical coherence to it, but if you observe it closely enough, there is a very deep system to the whole process.
This dance of creation, which self-created itself from the eternal stillness, in trying to represent the exuberance of creation, we call this dimension as Natesha or Nataraja, which is one of the most significant forms of Shiva.
Because creation is a dance, we said the divine is a dancer. So when we say Shiva is Nataraja, we are not talking about an individual dancing. That is why the circle around him. The circle is always the symbol of cosmos, because the most natural form that happens in the existence when anything moves is a circle. Anything that happens by itself is a circle. The planet is a circle, the moon is a circle, the sun is a circle, everything else is a circle because circle is a shape of least resistance. So that is why the circle around Nataraja is symbolizing the cosmos. He is a cosmic dancer, that's how he's always described. You can experience the dance or you can become the dance. You can experience the aesthetic of the dance by simply watching it closely, or you can dance. But you want to understand the dance, there is no such thing. These are only two choices you have. If you experience the beauty of the dance by observation, by looking, we will say you are a seeker. You may be called a scientist, but still you're a seeker, you want to know what it is, so you're paying attention. If you pay attention to it, you become a seeker. If you become the dance, you become the divine, you become a yogi. That's a choice you have.
There is a whole host of incidents or situations which happen on the south side of Kailash. All kinds of people got the best things from Shiva. The world would judge that these people don't deserve it, but he never made the judgment. When they asked, he gave. All of you know Vismasura? So this is a yogi who comes and asks Shiva that he wants to have this power that whoever he touches, they should turn into ashes. Shiva says, okay, have it. Then the guy wants to put his hand on Shiva's head. So he wants to try whether it works or not on Shiva. So Shiva got up and ran. And then, as usual, he consulted Vishnu what to do. Vishnu said, wait, and he transformed himself into Mohini, or a very enchanting woman. So he came and he danced in front of Bhasmasura. Bhasmasura forgot about Shiva and ran up to this woman. So she said, you must dance as I dance, then I'm yours. He said, okay. So she did this, he did this, she did this, she did this, everything happened, this, and she did this. So he also did that and became ashes.
Shiva is always seen as a very powerful being, at the same time not so crafty with the world. So one form of Shiva is known as Bholenath because he is childlike. Not that he's stupid, but he doesn't care to use intelligence in all those petty ways.
It's only shrewd, low-level intelligence which is constantly thinking how to get better of somebody. Intelligence and street-smart guile are two different things. Being smart is always in comparison with somebody else. Being intelligent is not in comparison with anybody else. It's just by its own nature. So, intelligence is significant because intelligence is never in competition. It is simply an expression of life.
Of the many names that Shiva is referred to, Soma is one of the important names. Soma literally means intoxication. If there is no intoxication, you will never be mad enough to jump into the ultimate void, which is only liberation. So, Soma or Somasundara is one of prominent names of Shiva. Always inebriated, but fully alert. So, the story goes like this. Shiva was sitting near Kailash in a completely inebriated state. The news spread all over India that there is a man sitting, so magnificent a man that slowly year after year, people started making the pilgrimage. There was a girl who was a princess in the Himalayan kingdom. Her name was Parvati. And when she heard this, she said, I want to go and see him. The moment she set her eyes upon him, she just so completely overwhelmed by him. She said, if I marry only this man. Then somebody else played a conspiracy and he decided to get married. A big wedding was organized. Anybody who is anybody is there. The bride is all decked up, everybody is waiting for the groom to come. And the groom came. Shiva walked in, ash-smeared, dreadlocked, fully inebriated. And all his friends, these goblins and demented beings, making all kinds of noises. Parvati's mother Meena saw this man and his friends. And when she thought that her daughter is going to marry this man, she just fainted and fell. Then they revived her and she was completely heartbroken. How can I give my daughter to this man? He's wild. He's completely uncivilized. He's not even a man, he's something else. So Parvati went and begged Shiva, for me, whichever way you are, for some reason you put on a hideous form and come, this is also okay with me. But for my mother's sake, just show a better form. Then he said, okay. And then he turned into a very graceful and beautiful form, which was referred to as Somasundara, drunk but beautiful, completely inebriated, eyeballs up, but he became utterly beautiful. Then Meena revived and looked at this magnificent man standing there, and she said, I would like to give my daughter to this man, not to that one. So, inebriation, intoxication is an essential quality of meditativeness. If that's not there, if you're not drunk, how can you just sit? It will be the most torturous thing, simply sitting there like this, trying to concentrate on something. So that's his essential quality. So he carried the moon. That's a symbolism, that he is always drunk upon himself, no substances. So when we said Shiva constantly drank Somarasa, he was not an alcoholic. He just imbibed the moonbeams which he carried always in his hair and constantly drunk. This blissful state is not a goal by itself. These blissful states eliminate the fear of suffering. Only when the fear of suffering is gone, only when this idea what will happen to me is completely eliminated from you, you would dare to explore life, otherwise you only want to protect it. Whether a career or a business, it's all about security. Marriage is about security. Everything is about security. As long as the fear of suffering is constantly playing its role, now you will not dare to really go into deeper dimensions of life. Only if you're drunk like this, but fully alert. Now, there is no fear of suffering, you're willing to go anywhere.